Radio Wiltshire.
So we are heading off to the Wild West on the show this afternoon. Let's do this properly, shall we? Yes. Off to the lawless Wild West. Mike Martin from Devises loves all things Wild West. He has spent years completing research, travelling to sites all over the USA. He's used his knowledge to write a new book all about a trio of Wild West legends and their stories. It seeks to get to the truth of the tales of the old American West that involves the characters Wild Bill Hickok, Billy the Kid, and Wyatt Earp. He's been with us on the show before. He's with me in the studio today. Hello, Mike.
Hello, Graham.
Good to see you again.
And it's great to see you. Thanks for having me.
No, you're very welcome. Because here's the thing. These people, Billy the Kid, Wyatt Earp, Wild Bill Hickok, we know them. We know the legends of these people. We've seen the movies. But they were all real people.
Of course. Absolutely they were. Yeah, they've become kind of mythical and legendary, sort of Atlantean kind of in spirit. But they were real people, as you say, and the history is there. You've got to sift through a lot of nonsense to get to the truth. But yeah, it's there, and I've just tried to put three of them in particular. I've chosen three particular Wild West icons. I could have done so many more, but I wanted to concentrate on those three because I think they kind of sort of symbolise the whole genre, really.
I've said this to authors before. There is always volume 2.
Absolutely.
You could always continue. Where does your fascination with all things Wild West come from? Because, you know, growing up, I loved watching the cowboys and Indian films. I loved a bit of John Wayne and Clint Eastwood. But, you know, what inspired you to love all these things Wild West?
It was all that initially, just what you're talking about. I grew up in an era, showing my age now, with the, you know, when westerns, cowboys and Indians, we all played it back in the day, you know, didn't we? All those TV series, you know, Bonanza, Have Gun, Rawhide. Rawhide, yeah, you still do that in the gigs. People still know it. It's amazing.
Rolling.
Absolutely,
yes.
yeah. So, yeah, it all came from films, as far back as I can remember, TV. But I just... It just lasted into my adulthood. It was something very deep inside me. I'll go into that in the book, actually, of trying to explain why it's such a passion for me, because it really is. And something else I explain in the book, I've got so many American friends, and I belong to a lot of American Western societies, and they can't understand why I'm like it. Although I'm not alone. We do have a few of us over here who are British Wild West fans.
Tell me about some of your adventures. Where have you been stateside to try and research these legends?
Well, it was over a period of several years, and it still hasn't stopped, really, because I wrote another book as well a few years ago that was specifically about the Alamo and Custer's Last Stand. So I did the whole...
Davy Crockett.
Of course, yeah. I went into great detail about Crockett and everything. That was another series, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. That's it. Love you in the act. Obviously, you know, it just really sunk in with me. I don't know why. It went beyond all the games as a child, you know.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
When you look at a map of America, it sounds like a silly question, this, but where was the Wild West? You know, where was it? What parts of America are we talking about?
Where it says, really. In actual fact, you know, with the first settlements in America were on the East Coast, really, as far as we know, and gradually pushed inwards. So there was always a frontier.
Because, you know, when you think of the West Coast of America, you think California, you think, you know, Los Angeles, you know, Vegas, Arizona, around that way.
Yeah. Well, Arizona is a typical area that I deal with in the book, because that was very much Wyatt Earp, Tombstone and all that. But the frontier, as it gradually spread west, really, from the East Coast, they all had their own gunfights and battles and everything with, you know, the Native Americans and everything. But the actual Wild West, as we know, is a period that really came from the end of the American Civil War in 1865, probably up into about 1900. That's the classic period of the Wild West. The cowboys, the Plains Indian Wars, things like that. And that was Arizona, Montana, Texas, Wyoming, those kind of areas.
And these three characters, Wild Bill Hickok, Billy the Kid, Wyatt Earp, one of the things that fascinates me is they were all around in the same sort of era.
Absolutely. They certainly were. Yeah. As far as we know, they didn't really meet. None of them actually met, but their paths crossed. It hasn't. There's a few legendary tales that maybe Earp ran into Hickok at one point, but it's not verified in history. And I'm interested in dealing with what's verified.
You want the facts?
I do, and it's. These things have been written about so many times. So what am I bringing new to the table? Well, I'd just like to feel that history is, it's all about archaeology, old newspaper reports, anecdotal reports, things like that. You have to absorb it all, take it all on board, and then come to your own conclusions, your own interpretation. But it's very important to take it all on board, and that's what I've tried to do in this book.
I get the sense you really enjoyed writing this as well.
I did, very much. I mean, it was the germ of the idea was originally 20 years ago when I went to New Mexico, as lots of trips, did a lot of travelling, met a lot of fantastic people. And so it's been sort of in my mind, really, for the last 20 years. But I've spent the last probably 18 months actually putting it to paper. And I've finally done it. There it is.
I have a very important question. Have you got your own Stetson?
I've got several cowboy hats. I do not have it with me, I'm afraid. It's not the weather.
It would look a little bit odd walking around in a Stetson
Swindon, I suppose.
At the moment, you know,
well,
wherever
if it's going to promote the book, I'll do it. Yeah. I'll write the title on the front.
Well, look, let's get a copy of the book. Where do people find the book? Where is it available?
It's available in basically all good bookshops. All good bookshops. It's available online, or you can order it through any bookshop. A few people have got it in stock already. It was actually released on November the 15th.
Yeah.
But, you know, you go to Barnes & Noble, Waterstones, you know, any of these people, Blackwell's, and for the States, Walmart's, you know, Amazon. Yeah. Yeah, they've all got their own pages for it. So, yeah, it's very obtainable.
Good. Okay, well, I wish you well with it. I look forward to volume 2 of this as well.
Yeah.
You heard what I said about Dear Madonna as you came into the studio, and you said to me, you've also met Madonna.
Yeah, briefly, when I was sitting out there listening to what you were saying. Yeah,
Go on, then. Can you relate?
I don't think we'll face any legal action. It's only the truth. No, just what you say. I did some film crowd work many years ago when she was married to Sean Penn, and the two of them were on the set of the film. Was it called Shanghai Surprise or something? Do you remember that film? Yeah. And the pair of them, frankly, were just unpleasant. And the funny thing was that George Harrison, our beloved Beatle, he was producing the film, and he sat there all quiet, nobody taking any notice of him at all.
He was always the quiet one, wasn't he?
Yeah, I just thought it was so funny because they were the two big icons at the time, and there was George Harrison being totally ignored.
Amazing, isn't it? Always good to talk to you. Always good to see you.
Yeah, and you, Graham. Thank you so much.
Keep in touch. And good luck with the book. Wild Billy Earp and Where to Find Him by Mike Martin is available now. And we're starting to say it now to our guests. Have a lovely Christmas, Mike.
Well, and you. Merry Christmas to one and all.
Thank you.
Great Christmas present.
Oh, yes, it is. Do you know somebody who likes Westerns? There you go. On the Christmas wish list. Thank you, Mike.
Lovely. Thank you.